So today I was kind of thinking about doing a video about movies that scared me as a kid. I was thinking about it because I watched Jeepers Creepers 2 again, and then I also rediscovered this movie that bothered me as a kid, so I kind of just wanted to rattle off a couple movies and kind of explain the story that goes with them. So I hope you guys enjoy. So at the top of the list, and I'm probably going to go from what kind of got me the least to what got me the most. So starting out is this really obscure movie, you probably never heard of it, Scarecrow Slayer. This is just some early 2000s straight to DVD horror movie that basically my childhood friend had the VHS at his house. It was kind of a thing where he was watching it like pretty much anytime he had a friend over, and he was showing it to like all of his friends like one by one. And this movie like terrified me. It scared the shit out of me, and when I just remember being on his pull-out bed in the basement and just not sleeping at all that night because this movie scared the fucking shit out of me so much. So I haven't watched it in like 15 years until the other day. I found it on DVD and ordered it for old time's sake to see how it held up, and this movie is garbage. I am completely surprised that this movie affected me the way that it did. It is so cheap, so low budget, so bad looking. There's terrible effects, electricity effects, blowing up things. Like, it is so bad. And I'm baffled. At the very least, this is definitely one of the worst horror movies I've seen in recent memory. And it's just not scary. It's really stupid. It's acted poorly. It's lit terribly. The only saving grace is that Tony Todd is in it. I don't know what they gave him to be in this. He's not in it for terribly long, and I think that they just got him so that they could have at least one famous name that fans can attach to. But oh my god, it's so bad. If that isn't enough, the end of the movie it has two scarecrows fighting. Like, for some reason, one of the other main characters dies and turns into a scarecrow, fights the other scarecrow. The main scarecrow kills him. A woman picks up a bazooka, shoots the scarecrow, and blows him up, and that's how the movie ends. God fucking awful. I can never imagine someone watching this movie and being afraid. I feel like an idiot for being afraid of this movie. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I just feel like a buffoon for being afraid of this movie at all at any point in my life. I don't give a shit if I was 8 years old. It's stupid. It's terrible. I don't recommend it. Do not watch this movie. So next up is Jeepers Creepers 2. This is actually a movie that I have a review coming out for. And this is actually a movie I really like now, but at the time when I watched it, it just got me. I remember it was a Saturday and my dad said, like, there's this movie where a scarecrow like takes a kid out of a field, and then he like turned it on. And I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel or something. And I got sucked into it, and it haunted me. I just remember after the movie was over, just being so paranoid. Every time I was on a bus, I was worried that the creeper was going to throw a spike at the tire and that he was going to start picking off everybody on the bus. The movie followed me around for a while. I was just bothered and paranoid, and I remember too not knowing the title of it, and then I actually, at the same friend's house that I saw Scarecrow Slayer at, I found Jeepers Creepers 2. I saw also the VHS, and I was like, oh, that's the movie. Okay, cool. But yeah, it is a good movie. Definitely not scary, but I could see how this movie bothered me when I was a kid. Like, it can be a scary movie. It's also too, like, they have good creature effects. Like, it's convincing and it is scary. You feel this trapped situation inside the bus, and I think that was the thing that got me the most. And I always like would think in the bus, like, if the creeper were to come, like, what would I do? Where would I hide? Like, it just put me in that mindset. So, you know, that's something that followed me around for a while. Okay, so this is the second to last one. This is another movie that I've kind of grown up to really enjoy, and it is It from 1990. It's not scary at all as an adult. I'm not bothered by it. I mean, I'm not really bothered by any movies anymore, really, per se, but this movie, like, even by those standards, is not scary. But it's, again, like, I could see how the concept of Pennywise by himself is just creepy enough for a kid. I also really, like, screwed myself over, too, by looking away, because they really didn't show anything, so I just let my mind do the work, and it made it way worse. I actually found this movie when I was kind of just getting into horror movies, and, like, my family got a laptop, so I was spending all my time kind of, like, looking up these movies and these characters, and I just remember discovering that first scene where Pennywise pulls Georgie's arm and kind of bites him, but they cut away, and I just remember watching, like, the entire exchange but as soon as he grabs Georgie and pulls him towards him, I couldn't do it. I looked away, or I closed my eyes, and like I just thought in my head that the worst was happening. I couldn't watch it, and I definitely made it way worse because, again, it's just I let my mind do the work, and then I definitely got a more terrifying image in my head than even the 2017 movie could portray. And if that wasn't enough, I also kind of scared other people with this movie, because I just remember going to school and like telling everybody about this clown that lives in the sewer and eats children, and I bothered the shit out of a lot of people. Like, even to this day, one of my friends brings up the fact that I told him about this and that it kind of scared the shit out of him. It kind of really is like the concept that makes it way scarier. Just this clown that lives in the sewer and eats children, and you can't stop him. That's the thing too, is there's really no limiting factor to his power. So that's just the concept, and the character always would kind of spook me out. Definitely got a lot of nightmares because of it, and that's number 2. But now for the mother of all with the nightmare fuel. And this one is, out of the 4, it's definitely the second most stupid movie. It's a movie now I enjoy for nostalgia purposes. I mean, I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's not intended to be scary. It's a parody, and that's Mars Attacks. This movie absolutely terrified the shit out of me. I thought Martians were coming to Earth and they were gonna blast everybody and turn them into skeletons. Basically, I was like 5 years old, I think, when I discovered this movie, and me and my dad were trying to find a movie to watch from his DVD collection, and then just the cover of it kind of caught my eye and I was curious about it. We watched it together and it just ruined my life. It got to the point where my dad actually had to hide the DVD like in his office, high up in a place where I couldn't see it, because I just couldn't even look at the cover. It would just terrify me. I remember one time too, my dad actually messed with me. He told me that it was gone, and then when I opened my eyes, he scared me with the DVD, and it just made me freak out. I mean, it's really funny to think about, but what a dick move. No, it was funny. I really don't know why. I think it just might have been the effects where they shoot the people with the ray guns and they turn into skeletons. I think that just like set me off the handle. I don't think I saw anything like that yet, so it was just too much for me, and it definitely gave me nightmares for a while. I thought about it. It made me worry about us getting invaded by big-brained aliens that have laser guns. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun thinking of what movies kind of bothered me as a kid and scared me and made me paranoid. If you guys have any ones you want to talk about, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Have a good one.